Alright, Batman fans, so we have some very exciting news out of Matt Reeves yet again via the Twitter platform. Okay, he tweeted out a bunch of GIFs, a bunch of images and things like that, hinting at the cast for the upcoming The Batman Part 2 movie, and we are here to put that list together and to discuss it all today about what characters we can expect to see and what actors we can expect to see playing our beloved characters inside of this upcoming Batman film. Now take a look at this list right here. Okay, I'll have it up on the screen for you right now. It says full cast for the Batman Part 2. We have Robert Pattinson, of course, returning as the legendary Dark Knight. We have Sebastian Stan as Harvey Dent. If you don't know who Sebastian Stan is, he plays the Winter Soldier inside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. All right, and he does an amazing job at that character. So I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the Harvey Dent role inside of this film. I think that's going to be amazing. I think it's great casting, and based off the specific GIF that Matt Reeves used on Twitter, all right, you can go check that out yourself. It looked like he was, dressed up in a suit in a more serious role, so I think it's going to work perfect as Gotham's DA. Now moving on to our next character, we have Scarlet Johansson as Gilda Dent. So it appears that she's going to be playing the wife of Harvey Dent, so that's interesting there. Can't wait to see what she brings to this performance. Again, it's probably going to be more of a lesser role inside of this film, considering she's just the wife of what's going to be one of our main antagonists, right? I assume we're going to see Harvey Dent eventually turn into Two-Face during the duration of this movie, or maybe they're saving it for the Batman Part 3. You never really know. That could be amazing too. Build him up in Part 2, then give us the villain arc in Part 3. That would be amazing. Now on top of that, again, it's another MCU character coming over from Marvel into the DCU. Well, not really the DCU, but at least Matt Reeves' Batman universe. And I've always loved Scarlett Johansson as an actress, so to see her transition from the Black Widow into Gilda Dent, I'm curious to see what that performance is going to consist of. Now moving on, okay, we have Charles Dance as Christopher Dent. Now if you don't know who Charles Dance is, he of course played the father inside of Game of Thrones. He was the father of the Lannisters. He was sort of like the overseeing Lannister in that series, an amazing show, and he gave a brilliant performance inside of that series, so I think he's going to do amazing things here too. Now I did look this up online, and it says that Christopher Dent is the abusive father of Harvey Dent, and so he sort of gave him a bad childhood, maybe leading to some of the stuff we're going to see break out of the character later on once he transitions into Two-Face, such as like that bipolar nature to the character. I think that's going to be interesting there. Apparently Gilda Dent's also very important when it comes to the Batman in a specific story, that being The Long Halloween, one of the best Batman stories ever written. And there's also an animated film of The Long Halloween. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you go check that out before you see this movie, because a lot of what Matt Reeves has done inside of this Batman universe that he's created has been based off of the Long Halloween storyline, and it's quite a fascinating storyline. So again, if you don't know anything about it, I highly recommend you look into it. Now moving on with the list here, we have Sebastian Koch as a to be announced. All right, we're not sure what character he's exactly playing, but Matt Reeves did make a hint to him over on Twitter, so we can expect him to be inside of this film. And the same goes for Brian Tyree Henry. He's also a to be announced. We don't know what character exactly he's going to be playing, so again, we're only covering the official characters and cast that have been announced and that are confirmed to be playing specific characters, right? I don't want to give you like the wrong information if they're not actually playing that. Now moving on, we of course have the legendary Andy Serkis returning as Alfred. Everyone loves Alfred, and Andy Serkis did a brilliant job inside the Batman 2022 film, so I think he's going to do another very strong job here playing that father figure role for Bruce Wayne. And again, we've seen the relationship grow closer inside of the first movie, so I could assume they're going to be on very good terms going into this film, and he's just going to be a strong supporting character once again. That's going to be amazing to see. Now moving on, all right, we have Colin Farrell returning as the Penguin. Now Colin Farrell set this role on fire. In my opinion, he's given us the best representation of the Penguin character that we have yet to see. And while I love the classic take that was in Batman Returns played by Danny DeVito, I love the more serious, more gritty, more modern take on the character, because that's what I love about my Batman universe in general, is the more serious, gritty takes. And so with the performance he gave inside of the film, and then adding on to that the performance that we got out of the Penguin series, the spin-off series, that was brilliant. HBO Max did an amazing job with that. All right, I loved every single episode. It was so strong. If you haven't watched the Penguin spin-off series, make sure you do that before you end up seeing the Batman Part 2 in theaters, and trust me, you won't be disappointed. He did an amazing job with it, and we got some of the best Batman Penguin storylines that we've ever gotten inside of that spin-off series. Now moving on, all right, let's talk about another character that we're going to get to see return, and that is Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon, of course. Now personally, I absolutely loved his take on Jim Gordon inside of the Batman 2022 film. I think he had a great buddy cop relationship with the Batman. He was sort of the only person that he can trust inside of the whole police department, and I loved seeing their relationship develop and blossom throughout the film and then build up that level of trust there. And again, I think we're going to see that expand inside of the second movie because he was the only person defending Batman in that first movie. If you remember, when he walked onto the crime scene of the mayor with the mayor's corpse laying there and Batman was doing his detective work, every single cop there was giving him weird looks, was giving him stares, was giving him nasty comments, except for, of course, Jeffrey Wright's Jim Gordon, because they are locked in. All right, that's Batman's twin right there. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next character that we can expect to see return, and that is Jamie Lawson as Mayor Bella Real. Again, I think she did a brilliant job with this character. Really, the cast in the first film was amazing, and they're just adding on to that amazingness here with these new additions and these new characters here. I love the Bella Real character. All right, she seemed noble, she seemed honorable, she seemed like she actually wanted to do a good job at being Gotham's mayor and wasn't a part of the corruption that was going on in the city. And she actually ended up being a victim of a casualty, right? She took a bullet at the end of that film. So I'm glad to see her return. I'm glad to see what she's going to do. Now moving on to our final cast that's been revealed. Again, there may be more by the time this video drops. Matt Reeves has been dropping GIF after GIF. All right, he's been announcing cast member after cast member. So the more updates we get, the more I'll drop another video on the channel giving you that update. But for our final one here, we have Jill Perez Abraham as Officer Martinez, or Gil. Sorry, I didn't mean to butcher your name there. All right, but Officer Martinez, I love this character too, right? We've seen that evolution in his character also when it came to the Batman. Again, he was sort of one of the main cops throwing those little snarky, nasty comments at Batman. And towards the end of the film, they ended up having a level of understanding, and he started really understanding the level of Batman's detective skills. A brilliant character. I loved his addition to the film. Can't wait to see him return. And that's it for the cast reveal right here, guys. That's pretty much all that Matt Reeves has covered up to this point that I'm recording and putting out this video. But as usual, we could probably expect more. He's been on fire lately on Twitter. He's been going hard, and I think we're going to see more revealed very soon in the future. So those are my thoughts on this full cast reveal on this movie news for the Batman Part 2. I'm curious to know your thoughts on this movie news down in the comment section down below. If you don't know what we do here on Demigod TV, we do film, TV, and pop culture based content. So if you're interested in this type of content, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace.